this person sold non-used books for $9.80 each. So we need to see how much money this darling made. And when we multiply that out, we get $88.20. And then the person turned around and they bought 4 books, and they had left over $37.80. So that difference is going to be $50.40. And so we need to know the average amount paid for each new book. So we need to divide 50/40. We are going to divide that by 4, and hopefully we get $12.60. Moving on to number 2. Very quickly, I would just sketch this. So we have -5, 7. So we have a point here, -5, 7. And we are going to translate to the right 7. So I'm going to move that -5 over to +7, or move it over 7. So there's 5 and then 2 more. So now we're at an x-coordinate of 2. So we can quickly cancel out those wrong answers. And then we are going to move down 5 coordinates. So moving this down 5 coordinates, we see that the only answer has to be H. Okay, this person left their house at 9 a.m. and then traveled 648 miles, gracious. And they stopped driving the next day at 3 a.m. So they've been driving for 18 hours. And we need to know, well, what was her average speed? And if you're not sure, use your units. This would be miles per hour. So I'm looking for miles per hour. So we have 648 divided by 18, and that's going to give us answer choice C. Okay, so the next one, we see that we have a bill and $10 for the first 300 messages, and then 10 cents for each additional message. And the total bill for this was $16.50. So we need to know how many text messages. So starting out $16.50, we're going to chop off that $10 so that we see that we have $6.50. So remember that $10 is 300 text messages, and then 10 cents for each additional. So we're going to have $6.50, 10 cents a pop. So that's going to be an additional 65. So he was charged for 365 text messages. Number 5, adding matrices. Pretty straightforward with that. You're just adding these corresponding numbers. So 9 plus a -6, that is a 3. So so you see that you're going to get rid of all of those. And notice these numbers are the same, these numbers are the same, so don't take time trying to find those. Focus on those two. So that's going to come from this plus this. So it looks like we need a 1 there. So the answer to 5 is A. Moving on to number 6, this notation gets people from time to time. Look at the order, x comma y, 4 comma 3. So that's telling me x is 4 and y is 3. And you do some substitution here. So I'm going to have 3 times 4 squared minus 4 times 3. And so 3 times 16 is going to be 48 minus 12. So it looks like we should have 36 left. Okay, so for number 7, we are going to have a group of 5 children, 3 of whom are of age 10 and 2 that are age 5. And we're looking for the mean age of the children. So let's count them all up. We had 3 that are at age 10 and 2 that are age 5. So that's going to give us 40, and we are going to divide that by 5 to get the average or the mean. So that looks like that's going to be 8. Right, for our next one, we have 500 registered voters, 337 are favor of the proposal. So we need to see what that percentage is. So we have 337 over 500, and whatever that percentage is, or decimal, we're going to multiply that to our 22,000 to see what might be expected here. And when you multiply all that wonderful stuff out, you should get answer choice B. That's going to be the closest one. Notice it says closest. I think when you multiply this out, you should get 14,828. So you see how answer choice B would be the correct answer. Okay, this sweet little young man has bought a car. Purchase price is $13,400, and he paid $400 down. So taking out the $400, he has $1,300 left. And let's see, he paid 48 payments at $300 each. So 48 times 300. And that's going to give him a total of $14,400. So how much more? The car purchase price is going to be $1,400. For our next problem, we're looking for the slope, and you're certainly welcome to change this over to y equals mx plus b, but to save yourself some time, if you're in this form, you've got ax plus by equals c, your slope on this is always going to be negative a over b. That's going to save you some time in the rearranging. So we have 4x plus 7y equals 9. So your slope, you can just draw an imaginary line through here, a fraction line, and change your sign. So it's going to be negative 4 over 7. So that's answer choice A. Okay, the next one. Here, you're asked to find the measure of this particular angle down here. Now the measure of this angle is equal to the sum of this angle and this angle. And so if we knew this angle up here, well, it would be in pretty good shape. And just so happen we do, because this is vertical angles here. So that means if this is 25, then this portion in here is also 25. So the angle that we're looking for is 90 plus 25, which is going to be 115, or answer choice G. Another quick formula here on 13, they want the sum of the solutions. So the sum of the solutions when you have any quadratic, that sum is going to be negative b over a. And again, that's coming from ax squared plus bx plus c. So here for that sum, negative b over a is going to be negative 1 over 1. So that's going to be negative 1, or answer choice C. Our next problem, we're given the formula for the volume of a sphere. And so we're asked for the volume when our diameter is 4 yards. So we need to realize that our diameter divided by 2 is going to give us our radius. So when we plug into our formula, that r cubed needs to be 2 cubed. And that's all over 3. And 2 cubed is 8. 8 times 4, 32. So we have 32 pi over 3, which is answer choice F. And number 16 is not really a good time-saving problem. Those types of problems, I would just glance at them, take my best guess at it, and move on. Now, you do read it, do try, but don't lose a lot of time on those when there's so many more problems that you are more than capable of getting. And that would be like problem 17, because this is a midpoint problem. And the midpoint of these is going to be at 2, 1. So right here in the middle of these 2 points is 2, 1. Over here, you're told that you have one side of this is 8, 10. You want the x-coordinate of the other side, so just count it off. From 8 to 2, that is 6. So over here, if I went forward 6, I've got to go back 6, and that's going to leave me with a -4. So there's my answer. Alright, so for these, going through here, we're looking for the probability of an outfielder or a pitcher. And when we see or, that means we need to add. And if we see the word and, that means we need to multiply. So we're just doing our probability, our straightforward probability. So the outfielder is 7, and the pitcher is 8, so that's 15 out of the 25. And when you find that percent, it should be 60% there. Okay, moving on to number 19. You were told some different proportions and ratios here. So notice that we have 1.2 kilograms of something, and well, that decreases, sorry. We start out with 40, and it's going to decrease 1.2 kilograms for the temperature that is below 75 degrees. So what we need to do is calculate what's going to happen at 83 degrees. So the first thing we need to do is see, well, how much of a difference this is. So 83 to 75, that's going to be the first thing we need to do. And that's going to tell us that we have 8-degree difference. And for each degree difference, we have a change of 1.2. So that's going to give me 9.6. So finally, we need to know how much of this was used, or how much is remaining. So 40 minus 9.6, and that's going to leave us 30.4, which is going to be answer choice A. Okay, now number 20. Number 20 almost got me. I had to take a second for this. We want to know what is this. What is that area? So what we need to do here for that area is really going to be x times y, but we don't know what the heck's x and y are. But if we go back and refer to our perimeter and add those coordinates, that should correspond to 6. So we see that 2 plus 2y has to be 6, and so that we see that y has to be 2. So that's that y there. Now for x, that's going to correspond through here with 5. So I have 2x plus 2 is 5. And so if we solve all of that, we're going to get x to be 3/2. So now we find our product. So I'm going to have 3/2 times 2 over 1 if you wish. And so that's going to give us 3. So it's our answer choice is G. Alright, in 21, we are told that the perimeter of a scalene triangle. Well, now that y'all know my son is going to sleep, let's go ahead and see if we can't find the perimeter of this triangle. So we've got that as 100, and so perimeter means we're just going to add up all of these measures. And so all of that has got to be equal to 100. And so 5x, 3x plus 2x, that's going to give us 10x plus 40 equals 100. And so we see that x is going to have to be 6. Now we need to know the length of the longest side, so we have to go back and sub in that x value. So the side that was 5x, we see that that is 30. And then 3x plus 30. So that's going to be 18 plus 30, so that side's going to be 48. So we already know that's gone, and we know that's gone. Well, if we're at 48, it can't be that. So let's look at 2x plus 10. So 2x, so that's going to be 12 plus 10, that's going to be 22. And I don't think that's going to be correct So the right answer is D.